This is Can't Hide, a Nora Price Mystery, Book 2, written by Kate Bold, read by Vivienne. Prologue. Nina Wiley woke at first light before the sun had risen above the mountains in the distance. Why had she agreed to come up here with Greg again? She hated camping. Unfortunately, she loved Greg, and relationships were all about compromise. I might as well be sleeping on a rock, she thought, sitting up in her sleeping bag and scowling at the cold, hard ground. Alone in the tent, she pulled her bag around her armpits and crawled with it to the edge of the tent, poking her face out of the opening. Her breath puffed out in clouds in front of her as she looked around at the still forms of Greg and her sleeping friends, Martha and Jordan, gathered around the last embers of the fire. Smoke snaked up to the sky, greeting a perfectly clear morning sky of a late summer day. In the cold silence of morning, Center Island, off the coast of Maine, certainly was beautiful. But that didn't make her like it anymore. Wiggling out of her warm cocoon and standing, she brushed the wrinkles out of her jeans and yawned. Pain shot up her extremities as she stretched. She'd gotten all of 12 minutes of sleep on this camping trip. Not to mention they'd had to kayak to the island on dark, unforgiving water, which meant that she couldn't escape easily if she wanted to go home. Wiping the sleep from her eyes, she spotted a trail at the edge of the clearing where they'd set up camp. The island was supposed to be gorgeous, and since they'd arrived at sunset, they hadn't had a chance to explore much the day before. Maybe a hike would improve her mood. Nina quietly slipped on her hiking boots and made her way to the trail. The cool mountain air was a welcome relief from the stuffy tent she'd been sharing with Greg for the past 2 nights. She walked along the trail, listening to the chirping birds and the rustling leaves. It was a peaceful respite from her stressful job in Boston. As she walked, her thoughts drifted to Greg. He was a kind and loving man, but their relationship had been lacking something lately. Nina couldn't quite put her finger on it, but something was off. She missed the passion, the fire they had when they first met. That was another reason she'd agreed to this trip. She'd hoped to rekindle some lost spark, reconnect with who they used to be. But last evening, he'd thought it was too beautiful a night to sleep in the tent, so he and the others had slept under the stars, leaving her in the tent, alone. He was always doing things like that, insisting on whitewater rafting instead of a lazy day at the beach, ziplining instead of lounging by the pool, hiking instead of cocktails at the hotel bar. She had to wonder if last night would telegraph the rest of their lives together if they did get married. Would they live separate lives?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?